Hey everybody, this is Lorelia, and today is day 3. So when I left off in the last video on day 2, I talked about framing your picture. At this point, you should have, assessed where you are at financially. I gave you my experience and example of what had happened to me back in 1999 when I had over $2,000 taken out of my account by a debt collector. Now, let me just kind of caution you. I'm going to be doing 31 videos on 31 days. So don't expect me to be all dyed up these 31 days. So actually, today was a snow day here in New Jersey. So I didn't go out. So as you can see, I'm not dyed up or anything, just getting out this content to you. So today let's cover the introduction. In the introduction section of, my book, Jumpstart Your Credit, I talk about congratulating yourself. I talk about why you should congratulate yourself for taking the first step. It takes a brave person to actually step up and say that they have a financial problem. And so many people will never get started because they are in denial about where they are at with their current situation. And so what I have did in that chapter is actually congratulated you for taking the next step. And so at this point, I want you to pat yourself on the back. This video is going to be a short video because really at this point, in the introduction section, I'm just basically laying out what you should expect. I also outline, why my book is broken up into 2 parts. The first part is really covering, really the process of your credit, how it works, how you rebuild it, the federal government agencies that oversee your credit. As long as I also discuss in part 1 the federal agencies that also cover debt collectors. And part 2, I really get into the meat and potatoes of the book. But in order for me to provide you with the meat and potatoes in part 2, I have to set a foundation for you in part 1. And that is very important so you can understand why I have broken out this book into 2 parts. So there you go. This is a very short chapter, but what I want to outline, which is covered in the book, some of the things that I'm going to be talking to you about, how to deal with harassing debt collectors. Of course, that is going to be a major part of this 31-day discussion. How to settle with a debt collector and increase your credit score. That is very important. Many of the books out there, I'm not going to name any, but their process of what you have to do to increase your credit score may hurt you in some cases. So it's very important that if you have some defaulted items or charged off items on your credit report, it is very important that you understand the process that must go on before you do that. I also talk about the FDCPA, the FCRA, and how that could help you with debt settlement. Pretty much covered in the part 1 section of the book, but in part 2, I really get into the meat potatoes of those 2 sections. Why paying old debts will do nothing to increase your credit score. That's right, I said it. You don't want to go paying off old debts, but I'm not going to go into it now because, of course, that is something that we'll cover during the 31-day challenge, and why bankruptcy should be your last option. And I want to just stop right there and, just, note and make sure I put a disclaimer that when we get to that section, we talk about bankruptcy. This is not to give you any type of legal advice. If you feel like you need legal advice regarding if you should file for bankruptcy, then by all means I say, go see a bankruptcy attorney and have he or she to advise you on if you should do it. But in my book, I cover, how you can prevent filing for bankruptcy, because if you follow the steps that are in the book, it can become a prevention for you for filing for bankruptcy. I also go into the different types of bankruptcies, and I lay that out in the last chapter. So there you have it. This is day 3. Well, like I said, I want to congratulate you for taking the next step, congratulating you for being at day 3, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video on day 4. Okay, bye-bye.